Castlevania is the topic of this video. It's just another franchise that I really enjoy. Haven't played all of the games. Played a good deal though. I'll start. Try to do these in chronological order. Castlevania 1 is the first game that I played on the NES back in way back in 91, 92, something around there. Really good. I've played it again recently on retrogames.cc. Still holds up as a solid side scroller slash platformer action adventure horror action adventure game. Um, but very unique. One of the first horror games I've ever really played. So always fun to play around Halloween. As I stated, 2D side scroller for the NES, 8-bit graphics. You play as Simon Belmont, who is a vampire hunter. He enters Dracula's castle in order to kill Dracula. He has a whip which he uses as his main weapon, which he uses to destroy enemies as well as objects, including candles, which give you hearts, which give you points, and then you can also break walls and find pot roasts behind them, which give you health. There are other weapons in the game also, which are throwable. You can find a dagger, which you can throw. You can find an axe, which you can throw at enemies. You have holy water, which you can throw at enemies, which causes a blue flame to emerge from it. Flame, rather. I don't know why I said fame there. Causes a blue flame to emerge from the holy water, which can also kill enemies that are left in the holy water's wake. Just a great game overall. I really do like the original Castlevania. Has darker graphics, good use of dark tones for a horror game. And the game is difficult. Not super difficult. I am able to get to the last level, and I can beat Dracula if I put my mind to it. So, not super hard, but hard. Good challenge. And just really good gameplay. Good graphics for the time for the NES. A bit more detailed than Super Mario Brothers, which is a bit blockier. This has more pixelation to it, a bit closer to 16-bit, although still 8-bit. I did play the second one, and I know James Rolfe from Cinemassacre is famous for hating on this game, and I kind of can see why. It is very difficult, and I have not been able to get past the first level myself. It can be very cryptic, as he stated in his video on this game, the second Castlevania. So I will continue to stab at it. I don't know if I'll be able to get past the first level or so, but I can't say very much about that the second game, as I just haven't been able to play it all the way through. But I do agree with James on some parts, as it is difficult, but I'll have to play it more to give a better opinion of my own about it. Um, so yeah, what else here? Oh, this third Castlevania I've also played through. I think I've beaten that one also. Um, so the third Castlevania you can play as two other characters. One is a thief, and the other, oh no, three other characters. So one is a thief, the other is Alucard, which is a vampire who aids you. And then the other character is a female sorceress of some sort. I can't remember all their names, but the thief has the ability to crawl on the ceiling. I'll have to check the abilities of the other characters also. I think Alucard has the ability to use like a flame power. He can shoot flames from his cape. I'll have to check that though. And I thought the sorceress had an ice power. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going to check that now. Though powers for Castlevania 3 characters. And I think you don't play as Simon Belmont in this one. It's as stated here on Wikipedia. It's Trevor Belmont. Um, so yeah, you have Sypha Belnades, a sorceress with poor physical attack but powerful elemental magic spells. Grant Dynasty, a pirate. Oh, I thought he was a thief. I guess that is a pirate also. The pirate is to steal, so. Um, but it says pirate here, so I'll go with that. Um, has the ability to climb on walls and change direction in mid jump. I said ceiling there. I guess it's walls. You can also change direction in mid jump. And Alucard, Dracula's son, a Dampier, which I know that's a half vampire, half human. With the ability to shoot fireballs, I was right about that, and then transform into a bat, which you can use to fly around the screen with. So, so apologies for that. I didn't know all of those completely, but I had an idea of what they did. But yeah, the third game is really good too. I really enjoy it. I like the addition of the extra characters and their new moves and abilities. Sorry, I'm just making sure that my phone will not ring here. But yeah, the game is quite good. And the next game that I played is Super Castlevania on the SNES, which has 16-bit graphics, which are a bit better than the 8-bit on the NES games. Really good. Also, you can use the whip in different ways too. You can twirl the whip. You can not only crack the whip horizontally, but you can go diagonally. You can go up. You can go down. You can go down and diagonally. So that gives more control over how one can control the whip in the Super Castlevania, which is really cool. That's what I remember from that. Better graphics, more control of the whip, same type of power ups. Well, there's also the cross, which I failed to mention in the original Castlevania games, also on the NES. You can take a cross and then throw it at enemies, also, which is also a cool weapon. It sort of like spins as it's thrown. Um, so that's something I forgot to mention, so I apologize for that. Um, so um, what's the other Castlevania I've played? I have played Castlevania on the N64. I'm going to research that right now because I think it's called Castlevania 64, but I played that a bit on retrogames.cc, the website. Castlevania 64. So yes. Although it doesn't say Castlevania 64 on the box here, it's just called Castlevania, also referred to as Castlevania 64. Okay, so that's fine. I'll refer to it as Castlevania 64 as it is on the N64. That's a 3D Castlevania game, a bit different from the other ones that I just mentioned that are 2D. Um, that one I haven't played a lot, and I couldn't get very much past the first level. But it is a 3D Castlevania game. You have the option of playing between two characters. There is one male character who I don't know the name of, but is more like Simon and Trevor Belmont. Um, and then I know Simon's in the second game also on the NES. And then oops, there's a net in here. But the other character you can play as is a young white female human. And I haven't played as her yet, but maybe I will someday. I've also played Castlevania Symphony of the Night on 3DS, I believe. I'm going to check that title, but I have played that 3DS game. Maybe it's not Symphony of the Night, but I have played Symphony of the Night, so maybe that's not in the 3DS, because it says here PlayStation, Android, Sega Saturn, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3. So I think I played that on Retro Games CC also. I remember that being good too. Similar to Super Castlevania, from what I remember. I don't remember too much more after that. What's the game that I played on the 3DS? I asked myself. Castlevania 3DS. Castlevania games on 3DS. Um, Hold on 1 second. It does not say here. I'll try to find it because I remember playing it not too long ago. I played it probably a month or two ago. Sorry, I farted there. I apologize for that. Um, hmm. I'll check one more way. But yeah, the Castlevania games are just a really good series of horror games, vampire games to be more specific, vampire hunting games to be even more specific, list of Castlevania games. Oh, maybe it was Grimoire of Souls. I'm gonna check this one. This sounds familiar. 3DS. I'm hoping. Um, hmm, I think that's it. That looks familiar. Um, I don't know what that is. Let's see. I'm gonna search through these other games here. That's the only one that pops up in my memory when I look at it. Yeah, I think that's it because that's a newer game made in 2018. And I remember it being new. That's got to be on 3DS. I don't know why it's not saying 3DS on any of these. Um, I'm just going to check quickly here. Platforms iOS. Yeah, maybe it wasn't that. Yeah, shoot. I swore it was Grimoire of Souls that I played. I'm going to try and find this game here. It had to be on the 3DS because I remember specifically playing it on that. Maybe Lords of Shadow? Lords of Shadow. I don't know. So I don't want to say anything else now because I feel bad, but I'll just leave by stating that the first three games on the NES are all good. The second one, I haven't gotten very far in that one, so can't say much about that. But the first and third one on the NES are good. And Castlevania 64, good, but a bit difficult for me. Couldn't really get past the first stage on that one. And Super Castlevania and Symphony of the Night are good also. Um, Man, I really wish I could find that other game that I played. I just can't find it here. I didn't play it for very long, so maybe it's apropos that I don't speak about it anyway. But hmm, I do not know. So Symphony of the Night, yeah, released in '97. That one I did play also is good, which is good. Um, but yeah, it's a good series. I'm not super well versed in it. I can't say that the first game on the NES is great. Third game on the NES is great. Super Castlevania is great. Symphony of the Night also good. The Castlevania 64 difficult, and as well as Castlevania 2 on the NES. So I may speak more about this someday if I can get farther in them. But great horror series on various systems, vampire fighting games. If you're into vampires and defeating them, check out Castlevania and all the games they offer. And let me know if there are any other Castlevania games that I haven't mentioned here that you would recommend based on what I've told you about the other ones. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you for watching too. Feel free to like and subscribe. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment if you wish. And that's it. So thanks again. I hope you have a good rest of the day.